10 most dangerous criminals on Earth. Number 10. Mokhtar Belmokhtar. With ISIS's rampage across the Middle East stealing all the headlines, it almost feels out of fashion to be talking about Al-Qaeda. Yet the Islamic extremist group are still a very real threat, and that's in large part down to the work of Mokhtar Belmokhtar. Belmokhtar is the one-eyed leader of Al-Qaeda's African affiliate, Al-Murabitun. Using funds from the illegal tobacco trade, Belmokhtar has been recruiting an army of battle-hardened extremists from Syria. With his mercenary army, Belmokhtar wants to turn Al-Murabitun into an operation powerful enough to rule across the whole of Africa. From there, he wants to launch more and more terror attacks in the West, such as his foiled attempt to attack the Eiffel Tower in 2014. Belmokhtar is also willing to personally get his hands dirty. He lost his eye while attempting to build explosives in the 90s, and in 2008 he single-handedly killed 13 customs officers in Algeria. Number 9. Jesus Ernesto Chavez. We don't care how many hours you've spent on Assassin's Creed turning Ezio into a stabby, parkour murder machine, there's still no way you've killed as many people as real-life hitman Jesus Ernesto Chavez. The assassin used to work for the Barrio Azteca gang in the city of Ciudad Juarez, until he decided to start working with the Mexican police to convict his former boss Arturo Gallegos Castellon. In court, Chavez made a stunning admission that he had personally murdered 800 people on Castellon's orders. In fact, he admits he probably killed more, but lost count after the first 800. On top of this, Chavez admitted that he was contracted to kill at least 8 civilians a day just in order to keep the city's population scared. Chavez confessed he would often behead or dismember his victims in the hopes it would impress Castellon. Though nominally retired, a man willing to empty out people's insides just to suck up to his boss is never a man we'd want to cross. Number 8. Sun Kai Liang. Anyone who's seen our video on 10 things you didn't know could be hacked will be well aware that nowadays some of the world's scariest criminals can commit reigns of terror without ever leaving their computer screens. One such criminal is Sun Kai Liang, a captain in the Chinese army and the man thought to be in charge of a 5-man espionage team responsible for committing cyber-terrorism for the nation's government. In 2014, the FBI charged Sun and his team with a staggering list of crimes, including economic espionage, which is essentially trying to crash the US economy with your keyboard. The FBI also suspects the group are responsible for trying to steal nuclear plant designs from America. What exactly China wants with the nuclear secrets is unknown, but we'll go out on a limb and assume it's probably not anything good. Sun and his gang remain at large, and with the world only getting more reliant on technology, the danger posed by state-sponsored hackers is only going to get larger. Number 7. Enadina Arellano Felix. From getting universal suffrage to the sexual revolution, there are many victories feminism can be proud of. But one achievement you probably won't be seeing celebrated at the next Women's March is the first female drug lord. That dubious honor goes to Enadina Arellano Felix, who was head of the Tijuana cartel since 2015. The gang was once won by Felix's 6 brothers, but after they were all arrested or killed off, including one who was murdered by a clown, she was left control of the cartel and became Mexico's first queenpin. Her brains and background in accountancy have allowed her to re-establish the Tijuana cartel as a powerhouse in northern Mexico. Strangely, Enadina has something of a cult following. There are numerous ballads dedicated to her, and there's even a movie about her life, which is terrible, by the way. Don't start fanboying too hard, though. At the end of the day, she's still a ruthless gang leader who's responsible for rising Tijuana's murder rate to 910, 37% higher than before her reign. Number 6. Joseph Kony. Remember Kony 2012? For about a week, everyone was obsessed with stopping Uganda's most violent warlord and rescuing his army of child soldiers. Then the founder of the campaign streaked around San Diego masturbating, and the whole project kind of fell off the map. But Joseph Kony didn't. The head of the Lord's Resistance Army is still alive and believed to be hiding in South Sudan. Over the years, Kony converted 66,000 children into soldiers, and he once had 620 civilians murdered on Christmas Day. The LRA is known to have killed thousands upon thousands of Ugandans, although exact figures don't exist. In 2005, The Hague indicted Kony for crimes against humanity, and in 2011, the US launched an $800 million campaign to find the dictator. Yet Joseph Kony is still free and believed to be surrounded by a personal army of 100 soldiers. And when the combined forces of The Hague, the US military, and self-aggrandizing social media activism can't take someone down, you know they're probably not going anywhere soon. Number 5. Semyon Mogilevich. When being friends with Putin is the least scary thing about someone, chances are they're not a great dude. Ukrainian mobster Semyon Mogilevich is believed to be the boss of bosses in the Russian mafia. In his 40 years of crime, Mogilevich has been accused of drug trafficking, paying contract killers, and smuggling gems. In 1999, several anonymous sources revealed Mogilevich tried to sell nuclear material for Al-Qaeda to make a suitcase nuke out of. If trying to sell nukes to terrorists doesn't earn you a spot on the most dangerous criminals list, nothing will. The mob boss has been arrested before in 2008 for tax evasion, but the charges were dropped, which we're sure has nothing to do with being Putin's buddy. Though technically a wanted man, Mogilevich lives freely in a mansion just south of Moscow. In 2015, the FBI even had to take him off their 10 most wanted list because there's no chance of ever capturing him. Number 4. Felicien Kabuga. Former businessman Felicien Kabuga is currently believed to be hiding in Kenya. More than 20 years after his crime, the 82-year-old is still being actively pursued by the world's police forces. The FBI even has a $5 million bounty on his head. That may all sound excessive, but Kabuga's crime certainly warrant it. The African criminal was one of the leading causes of the Rwandan genocide of 1994. Kabuga was one of the main bankrollers of the Rwandan radio station RTLM, which spread racist propaganda to the Hutu people, telling them to annihilate the Tutsi tribe. On top of this, Kabuga helped ship 500,000 machetes into Rwanda. When the violence broke out, these weapons were used to massacre 800,000 Tutsis. Rwanda is still reeling from the horrors of the genocide, with 400,000 Tutsis being orphaned and thousands of women left HIV positive after they were raped in the chaos. Yet Kabuga remains at large, uncaptured decades after his crime and still wanted on 11 counts of genocide. Number 3. Dawood Ibrahim. From smuggling drugs to selling blood diamonds, if there's a dodgy business, Dawood Ibrahim has probably had a go at it. The head and founder of Indian crime syndicate D Company, Ibrahim is the second richest gangster of all time with a net worth of $6.7 billion. Only Pablo Escobar ever had more. Ibrahim's main source of income comes from printing fake money, but he also has businesses in real estate, telecommunications, and even Bollywood. Perhaps worst of all, Ibrahim is thought to have helped Al-Qaeda carry out the 1993 Mumbai bombings. Not for any ideological reasons, but just to make a quick buck. Presumably Bin Laden wrote him a nice reference, because Ibrahim is also thought to have aided the 2008 and 2011 bombings in Mumbai. Between them, those 3 terror attacks took 450 lives. Though Ibrahim is rumoured to be deeply ill, his gang is still as healthy as ever and will doubtless continue to corrupt and kill their way through Asia for years. Number 2. John Mongrel. Despite what it sounds like, The Numbers Gang is not a terrible kids TV show in which 5 relatable teens prove math is cool. It's actually a terrifying South African prison gang, so named because each section of the gang has a different name and number. 28 kill enemy gang members, 27s kill troublesome prison guards, 26s look after the money, 25s run the bake sales and organised prom. We might have made that last one up. General John Mongrel, the leader of the 28s, has racked up some pretty impressive numbers of his own. Sent to prison for murder at the age of 14, Mongrel joined the gang in 1987. Since then, he claims to have personally killed his way through over 1,000 people while in jail. On top of this, he admits to raping countless other members of his own gang as a way to establish dominance. Most recently, Mongrel made headlines after he threatened that he would kill Oscar Pistorius if the sprinter was sent to his jail. Apparently, he didn't want anyone thinking that Pistorius would get an easy ride just because he was rich. Number 1. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Al-Baghdadi is the head of ISIS. That's all the reason we need to put him on this list. After all, ISIS has a bit of a reputation. They've killed 170,000 people in the Middle East, not even factoring all the people they've slaughtered in terrorist attacks across Paris, Berlin, and London. You know a group's messed up when Al-Qaeda disowns them for being too violent. At the end of 2016, ISIS controlled 23,000 square miles of territory. They still have around 3,000 captured slaves, mostly women and children. And al-Baghdadi has been central to ISIS's success. So central, in fact, that the US government has put a bounty of $25 million on his head. Despite the hefty ransom, capture seems unlikely. Al-Baghdadi still commands an enormous army of around 15,000 soldiers. Recent losses have damaged ISIS, but even if they do eventually collapse, it will take years of bloody fighting to fully dismantle the terror group al-Baghdadi started. So that was the 10 most dangerous criminals on Earth. Which of these violent villains would you least like to cross? Let us know in the comments below. And if you haven't had enough of deadly bad guys, check out 10 evil serial killers who were never caught, playing now.